back to the Nasty Mouth Production channel here on YouTube, and of course this is my second contest entry video. Of course this is a contest entry to Cloudy Mouther's 300 subscribers contest. Congratulations, man, you definitely deserved it. Just really loved your channel. Of course, first time I even heard of your channel was when you commented on some of my videos. And of course, I had to check out your stuff, and I was just, introduced to a pretty cool guy, cool, channel and everything. So this is, yeah, really awesome. So here's definitely my entry here, and for this contest, I end up printing out the rules on here. Basically, number 1 is show an album with the number 3, the word 3, or 3 in Roman numerals in the title, or band name, or a song title, or get creative. Basically, unless I can't find anything else. But I end up finding a few things here. Not a whole lot. I don't want to go too overboard unless I throw in a lot of my, 30th anniversary editions in here. Yeah, because they all have a 3 in there, but to me, I felt like that would be a bit too overboard. So I kind of laid back a bit. So here, if you start right here is Black Sabbath 13, which of course has the number 13 there. Good album. Definitely at this point consider to be the last full length from Black Sabbath. Of course, another one here is Megadeth's 13, but it has the number 3 also in the title. So, yeah, not a favorite of mine, not a favorite album for me. So that's there for the number 3. Alright, so here one right here is, of course, is Danzig 3, which is in Roman numeral, right, if you, look there. But even though they printed it that way, it's basically the 3rd studio album from Danzig. And it's, again, Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. Probably one of my favorite Danzig albums. Really dug this album. There's not really a bad song on here. Godless, Anything, Bodies, the title track, Dirty Black Summer, which is a song that, inspired me to pick this album up in the first place. Of course, it's probably, right up there, probably the song with the hugest, real longest intro before it gets to the thunder, beating, Saxon's heavy metal thunder for that, for a real long intro. But it's a good minute hits the track. It's a killer track. Left Hand Black, Heart of the Devil, Do You Wear the Mark, When the Dying Calls. Just a killer album. Last one here. Don't have a whole lot of. I looked through to see if I can find the word 3, but you know what? The closest is Tres Hombres by ZZ Top. Tres being Spanish for 3. So that right there is, that makes up for the word 3. It's a killer album anyway. Just classic ZZ Top. Alright, so that's definitely that for that one. So here, number 2 is show a favorite 3rd studio album by a band. Show 3 to get a bonus entry, and so here I've got 3. So, right here, Moxie's Riding High. Definitely a killer album, one of my favorites from Moxie. Just got this one recently this year, and just a classic. It's all the last one for singer Buzz Sherman. Just good album if you're a fan of, like Riot's Rock City, or Legs Diamonds, A Diamond is a Hard Rock, or even, maybe some Ted Nugent, whatever. It's a good album, it really is. Rock Baby and the title track are probably some of the 2 best songs on here. Even the first track, Nothing Comes Easy, it's a good album. Really good album. Next up, AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Under Cheap. Pretty much this is their 3rd album since they released about 2 albums that were only exclusive to Australia. Basically, these are, right, I'm going to show us their first 2, which is basically, you know, TNT, which was their second album, and of course, High Voltage. Different album than what was released in the US. Basically, what was released in the all around, maybe in Europe and or all around national, is basically just a compilation of these 2 albums, which are their first 2. So this is their third. It's a damn good album anyway. Probably my personal favorite, you know, Bon Scott era AC/DC album. It's a bit raw, actually, in sound, even production. It's a very dirty sounding record. Thus, yeah, punny, but it is. It's a dirty sounding album. It's a good one though. Just got this one recently. Real recently is, of course, is At War's Infidel. This basically was their third album and their comeback album after releasing 2 albums in the 1980s, Your Order to Kill and Retaliatory Strike. They came back in 2009 with this comeback album right here, Infidel, and they just sound like, it's pretty much just sounds like the natural follow-up to Retaliatory Strike. Same producer and everything. Just a killer album from At War. And since I'm in the, you know, beginning of thrash metal month, it's a very good album. Alright. Coming up next, right here, of course, is, well, Budgie Bandoiler, which of course is right, fuck, I kind of screwed that up a bit. Basically, for number 3 is Show an Album from a band on their third lineup. Show 3 to get most entry. And that's where this comes in. Hopefully I didn't confuse anyone. Just put out there. Just a little mistake. Everything's perfect. So, like I said, this is Budgie's Bandoiler, and this was, right here, their third lineup. Basically, the first 3 albums had Ray something on drums. On here, at least the album before In for the Kill, they changed drummers, and before this album, they ended up changing another drummer. Thus, third lineup. It's a damn good album anyway. Really good. Of course, I just talked about AC/DC, and of course, here they come again, and that's, of course, this AC/DC's POWERAGE. Basically, this was their third lineup. Basically, the first lineup was, of course, was on the Australian debut, High Voltage, which of course was mostly with the drummer and bass player. And then again, they ended up kind of getting a more of a solid lineup with this sound right here, TNT. Of course, what I'm showing here is basically a self-made bootleg because I am yet to find a cheap copy of the Australian pressing of High Voltage. Just putting that one out there, so I'm just putting it right there for reference. But again, this was their second lineup here when they introduced Phil Rudd, who came from the band Buster Brown, which had, I'm not going to go in, but just a Rose Tattoo member. So they got, drummer on here, Phil Rudd, and of course they brought in bass player Mark Evans, who lasted for until the Let There Be Rock album. But then for POWERAGE, they got Cliff Williams, who was the guy right there in the back behind Angus Young. This would then make it the third lineup for AC/DC, and of course Cliff Williams recently left the band. But it's a killer album anyway from AC/DC, one of my favorites as well, probably next to Dirty Deeds Done Cheap as personal favorites, even along with Let There Be Rock. Alright, again here is Tank's Honor and Blood. This was basically, again, their third lineup. The first lineup was on the first 2 albums, which were Filth Hands of Hades and Power of the Hunter. Then their second lineup came in on the album before this one, which was their third album, titled This Means War, when they introduced Mick Tucker. However, after that, both the Browds brothers left, and then came in, I want to say Cliff Evans, I guess, or Chris something, I forgot. But Again, that's the only thing about the digipacks. Of course, this came from my box set, and I don't tend to put the band lineups or anything, so I can't seem to remember the guy's name. But of course, now they're pretty much under the Evans Tucker tank these days. But a drummer on here, of course, ended up replacing one of the Brad's brothers, which is that guy right there, who's now no longer alive. So this makes it the third lineup for Tank. And of course there's a killer album. There's nothing bad on here. The War Drag's Ever On, When All Hell Freezes Over, the title track, even the cover Chain of Fools, which is definitely a much hard rockin' take on such a song, even though it's not. Yeah. But they did a good job of turning that track into a real good hard rocker. You got WMLA, Too Tired, Wait for Love, and then the last track, Kill. It's a damn good album anyway. So yeah, there's definitely my contest entry right there. Showed about 3 albums, showed about 4 albums, with the 3 on the title. Hopefully I didn't go overboard. So congratulations on reaching up to 300 subs. You deserved it, man. So, until then, this is Heavy Thrash. I think I'm out. And I'm definitely will be continuing with fucking, the thrash metal month. Fucking carpet beetle. I gotta deal with the situation later.